Okay, it's 6:30. Good evening, everyone. Calling the meeting to order. Thank you for coming, Mauricio.
Commissioner Viscara,
Here.
Commissioner Syverson, Commissioner Joseph,
Here.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Here.
Mayor Svechin,
Here.
all members present.
Great. You can all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. J, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We do not have an invocation today. Mauricio?
Okay, the first item on the agenda is 3A, the approval of the minutes for the September Commission meeting.
Okay. Need a motion, please?
I have something to say about that, if you don't mind.
You have a change to the minutes?
I have a change as to the resolution regarding Israel. I believe that it should be stated that it was, that the resolution was revised. I don't believe it says that.
Yes, just to
It was
clarify
accepted on revision.
yes, it's adopted as amended, is what the minutes say,
Right.
as amended. So based on your proposed amendments to the resolution,
Yes.
it states that it's adopted as amended.
And that is how it was accepted.
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you. Next item is 4A, the order of business, and we have a couple of changes to tonight's agenda. The first item that's being revised is 6A, which is an ordinance amending the definition of the term height. 6B is being deferred, pending some further clarifications and information. 9J is also being deferred. The reason for this is because the Department of Environmental Protection, DERM from Miami-Dade County, issued a new policy that would prohibit the city from using the pumps in its intended use, so this project is no longer needed.
Oh, really?
And 9U has been added, which is a resolution ratifying the declaration of state of emergency and its termination as a result of Hurricane Milton.
Great, thank you. I need a motion to,
Hold on, I'm sorry, Mauricio, can you repeat what happened with 9J with the county?
9J, it's being deferred because the project is no longer needed. The DERM put out a new policy that would prohibit the city from using the pumps the way that it was intended to.
Is that because it was going to the, pumping into the bay unfiltered?
I believe so. It's related to dewatering. So the staff would give you some more information in the coming days about that.
Okay,
I need a motion to accept the changes.
so moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Well, I would like to defer that.
We just
It
voted.
is deferred.
Well, until we have more information, I think we shouldn't even vote on it.
We're not.
Not
It's taken off the
being
agenda.
taken off the
Okay, so good.
Okay.
Thank you. So the first item on the agenda is ordinance of first reading.
We need to play the opening statement.
Yes, you're right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate your attendance and thank you for joining us tonight. Before we begin, there are a few important reminders regarding conduct during our commission meetings. Please ensure all electronic devices are turned off or set to silent mode to maintain the integrity of our proceedings. Mutual respect is the foundation of productive discussions. We ask that everyone remain silent and attentive when someone is addressing the commission. Clapping, applauding, heckling, or any verbal outbursts, either in support or opposition of the speaker, are strictly prohibited. Any individual wishing to address the commission must fill out a public speaker's card and submit it to the city clerk before the relevant item is announced. Each speaker is granted a maximum of 3 minutes. Should you exceed this time, the chair will notify you to conclude your remarks. Speak directly to the agenda's points. Remain concise and avoid redundancy. Should an individual speak without the chair's permission or continue speaking after a warning, they may be escorted out of the chambers. It is essential to avoid making impertinent, slanderous remarks or becoming boisterous while addressing the commission. Such behavior may lead to being barred from future commission appearances, unless the majority of the commission members present vote otherwise. The presiding officer may disallow signs or placards in the commission chamber. Please exit the chamber quietly and without disruption. The goal of our meetings is to facilitate public input and participation. However, disruptive or disorderly conduct hinders our collective objective. Individuals who want to speak on an item on the agenda are asked to fill out a public speaker's card and give it to the city clerk before the item is called. Speakers are asked to speak to the issues, make comments concise and to the point, and refrain from making duplicate comments. All speakers will be limited to 1 3-minute comment per item. If you exceed the 3-minute allotment, the chair will advise you to finish your comment. If you speak out of turn without permission from the chair and/or you do not cease speaking after one warning, you will be escorted out of chambers. In order to maintain orderly conduct and/or proper decorum at these meetings, anyone who interferes with the orderly process of the meetings after a warning may be removed from the meeting and may be barred from further appearance before the City Commission, as permitted in S-286-0114, FS and SS 74-5 and 74-21 of the City's Code of Ordinances. Any necessary removal will be made at the direction of the mayor and will be carried out by law enforcement or a designated sergeant at arms. It is essential that attendees adhere to these rules of procedure to ensure productive meetings that serve both the public and the City Commission. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding.
Great, thank you. So I'm going to give my little speech that I usually give in the beginning of the meetings. If you're choosing to speak on an item, please take the speaker cards in the back before the item is called. Even if you think that you may want to speak on something, I encourage you to do that now so that you're not rushing to sign up. If you change your mind, you simply can just say you no longer want to speak. It's really important that we maintain decorum at these meetings. This is a business meeting to get the business of the city done, but also it's an opportunity for the public to be heard. So I want to make sure that we're all very respectful of each other. That includes us here on the dais as well as the audience. I want to make sure everyone gets an opportunity to speak and not be interrupted, because we do have many people that are watching on TV, but also for the purposes of the closed captioning. So I just want to make it very clear, I am not going to tolerate any outbursts by anyone here today. We have a lot of things to complete today, and it's really important that we maintain decorum. So thank you. Mauricio, go ahead, please.
The first item under ordinance to first reading is 6A, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending Chapter 265, Article 2, Section 265-5 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, titled Definitions, to revise the definitions of the term height and incorporating terms consistent with the Federal Emergency Management Agency's National Flood Insurance Program and the Florida Building Code to amend the basis for building height measurement, providing for repealer, severability, codification, and for an effective date.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Commissioners. This is the first reading of an ordinance to change the method of measuring building height. Currently, the height measurement begins at the crown of road, which varies throughout the city between 3 feet to 5 feet. This proposed ordinance will change the measurement to begin at the minimum required design flood elevation. Attached to the agenda memo was the flood insurance rate map for the city, which shows that the entire west side of Collins Avenue is in the AE flood zone. That is a special flood hazard area, and in that zone, the Florida Building Code requires residential structures to be elevated 1 foot above that flood elevation. And with that additional 1 foot, that is the minimum base flood elevation. So the purpose of this ordinance is twofold. First, new structures will be flood-proofed without losing allowable building height. And the second is consistency. This ordinance will provide consistency throughout the city for how to measure building height, and it will provide future consistency with any potential changes that may occur to federal and state flood elevation requirements. For instance, if the flood map changes or if regulations change to require additional freeboard. With this ordinance, we will already be in compliance with that, and the ordinance will not need to be amended again. The implementation of this ordinance will potentially result in new structures being 5 feet taller than today. I want to emphasize the term potentially because it really depends on how the structure is designed. During agenda review, Vice Mayor had a comment about how to avoid builders taking advantage of this ordinance change and artificially constructing buildings with extremely high finished floor elevations. So to address that comment, staff made a change to the definition of height that was published in the ordinance, and I will read that change into the record. This is for the definition of height that is on page 3 of the ordinance. Height, the vertical distance from the minimum design flood elevation, DFE, of the structure per the Florida Building Code and American Society of Civil Engineers, to the mean roof height between eaves and bridge for a gable, hip, and gambrel roof, and to the highest point excluding parapet of a flat roof, and to the deck line of a mansard roof. So to conclude, by taking the measurement from the minimum design flood elevation, an architect can flood-proof the structure beyond the 1 foot plus BFE, but the maximum height will still be measured from the minimum DFE. So thank you. I will be available if you have any questions.
Thank you. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
We didn't get any sort of communication regarding this ordinance?
Not for this ordinance.
Okay. So, Vice Mayor, would you like to go first?
No, thank you for, including those, that language. So, the intent of that language is for people, because I've been to some neighborhoods north of here where I see people that make really, like, they build their house on a hill. So I've seen that in Boca and some other places north of that. So, the intent is, you have the DFE, which is 7+1, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not an expert, but, you don't want to have a mound, a little hill, and then the starting point is from the top of the hill, and then you have a huge, not a huge building, but it's really high up because, they have a mound, they have a hill, and then they have the building. So, yeah, thank you for including that.
Okay. Commissioner Vizcarra?
And you know what else comes with that mound? Sometimes they do a basement.
Could be, yeah,
They
yeah,
have the
that's
extra square
another, yeah.
footage,
Mhm.
But, no, that's fine.
Okay.
I-
Commissioner Joseph, Commissioner
Fine,
Stiles?
thank you.
No? Okay.
I do have a few questions.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, it says here that one of the implications of this ordinance is that new single-family homes will be able to accommodate a third floor without losing ceiling height. I have a question. According to our ordinance right now, for anybody who wants to build a home with 3 stories, do they need to request a variance or not?
So it all depends on how the building is designed. So the maximum height is 35 feet.
Correct.
You could potentially accommodate a 3rd floor depending on the ceiling heights and how the structure is designed. But what I was trying to get at in the memo is that with this additional approximately 5 feet, it would be more likely that they could fully accommodate a 3rd story.
Okay, so I'm gonna rephrase my question. So if somebody wants to build right now a home up with the height that we have right now in the books, and it's a 3-story home, does that need a variance or not? Because I thought that according to our ordinance and our code, those areas, especially Golden Shores and also Atlantic Isles, is 2 stories single-family homes. So if you want to build a 3rd story, anywhere you need a variance.
No, so we don't regulate the number of stories. We only regulate
The height.
height by
Okay.
feet.
So I spoke to a lot of people from those 2 neighborhoods, Golden Shores and also from Atlantic Isle. And they didn't know about this ordinance. They didn't understood. They didn't know it was in the books. They would like to have a say about it. I think this should be informed to the residents, and maybe it should be in the form of a referendum or something else, the people that is getting more affected by this doesn't know about this variance. So right now we said that we want to see less construction on the west side of Collins. With this, all these neighborhoods are now being by de facto able to build 3-story homes. So just imagine Golden Shores, that they don't even have sidewalks, and now every home can be up to 3-story high. So it's gonna be very, very narrow and cramped. So I believe in my motion will be to defer this item, to include the people of the Atlantic Isles, to include the people of the Golden Shores, and to give them the opportunity to know what's going on and for them to have a say. It's a little bit frustrating to see things that come to us without this being before a discussion item, and they come straight to be an ordinance or to be a resolution. I don't see what is the criteria when it comes as an ordinance and when it comes as a resolution or as a discussion item, I meant. Okay, so that'll be my motion, if anybody want a second, to defer the item and to inform the people of what is it that we are doing here and to give them the opportunity to participate, especially the ones that are gonna be mostly impacted by this. We changed the code last year when we did our charter review. Maybe that was the opportunity to talk about this. And I had no problem discussing on a case by case when somebody needs this variance, like we had done in the past. We did in the last meeting, and our neighbors in Atlantic Isle that they needed an extra height, they got it. I think that we should have more discussions about this and not to be doing something so radical that is to change the ordinance, change our code without even the people knowing what is it that we're voting on.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. One moment. You want to go? Go
I
ahead.
would like to
Sure, go
speak
ahead.
before any vote. So right now, we have I know in
Jerry,
Golden
get a little closer to
In
me.
Golden Shores, we do have structures that are 3 stories. So I don't see the reason to have any type of further vote or ordinance other than what we would have tonight to pass this.
Are you done? So I just want to address some of the comments, and I appreciate you bringing this to everyone's attention, saying that you believe that more people should be involved. However, I do think that we've had this conversation many times, because we have had houses in both Atlantic Isle and Golden Shores come for special variances, and I believe we have said to them, it's a shame that we have to give them variances one by one. It should be one rule for everybody, and especially if we have houses that are doing the right thing and elevating the houses so that they avoid the flooding, they should not be necessarily penalized and have their property rights taken away from them so that they are no longer able to accommodate, which most of the time was really the elevator getting up to that final story. Because right now we do have, like Commissioner Joseph said, we have 3-story houses. They just may not have the, what is it, like the 11 feet ceilings.
Yeah,
I think that's what they were
ceiling
going for. So I think if anything, this has been discussed actually many times throughout the years. So I would ask that we vote on this, but I'd like to hear from anyone else in the commission.
Well, if may I? So now the variance is gonna come from 35 to 40 to 42, et cetera, because we do have a limit right now, and they're coming to go over the limit.
Well-
So now we are putting the limit higher, which is, I know we are not changing the height, but by default, by allowing to be on top of the base, now they're gonna come with a variance just to go higher and higher.
Okay, well, you made a motion, so
Yeah.
I need a second. Okay, so no second. Does anyone else want to speak to the item as written? Or-
Yeah, so my comment is, we've given variances to, some of the applicants that have come before us, like the family that came previously. And it is an issue, right? Because they do need to count, or the way it's written right now is that they lose about 5-6 feet, right? Because they need to accommodate for flood, per the DFE. So I think this is a solution. It is an issue that we need to solve, and I think this solves the issue. And in all fairness, you know, I think it's a good solution. We're putting a limit on, you know, obviously we don't want them building on top of, like creating a hill and building on top of that, but it does give them, I think, a fair solution as far as how they can build, because they are losing a lot of footage there. So I think we should just nip it in the bud and have this ordinance revised.
Okay, would you like to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll
May I
make a
just
motion.
add to
Yeah.
that?
Please, go
Um,
ahead, Commissioner Viscar.
The conversation was always about those people who were looking to accommodate the elevator. It was always about a couple of feet. And for me, you know, my comment was, if work within the rules, and if the rules don't allow it, I'm not a variance person. I don't like to vote on for variances. But then we knew that we needed to make an adjustment, so the adjustments being made, and like the last case that we had, it was 4 feet. We were looking for 4 feet. I'm very linear, so I'm like, well, if the rules don't allow it, no. But now, we found the 4 feet. We're adjusting the code because it is a more fair outcome. And anybody can always ask for more, but that's gonna be up to the commission to be disciplined. And it's like, we had a problem, and we're not doing that anymore. Or maybe the commission decides to do it. But whatever it is, if somebody wants to ask for more, they're gonna try. But we have to send a message. We had a problem, we fixed it, our documents match the fair outcome now, and, you know, don't work within that. We're adjusting what you can work within.
Yeah,
so
but just remember,
okay with
the
it.
implication is to build now three-story homes, not the elevator anymore. That's not gonna be the conversation anymore. Now it says here, like, that is the
I
idea.
hope they like their
okay.
9-foot
Oh,
ceilings.
Okay, yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
exactly.
I
And
just,
one more thing.
I
if
don't
you
want to
could.
spend,
No, this is the final.
please.
So we've had, there's always going to be requests for variances. We've had variances not only on height, but for people wanting outside, stairs, circular stairs that not attached to the house, and we suggested that they cut it into the building rather than have it further out on the property line. So there are always requests and there are always solutions, and there's not always the need for a variance. Sometimes there's a solution that they're not understanding is a possibility, and when they come to us, sometimes we're able to work that through as well.
All right, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Viscar. This is an ordinance, so, Mr. Mauricio?
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
No,
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance is adopted on first reading. Second reading will be scheduled for November. And just to note also for the record that this, since it's amending the LDRs, it will be referred to the LPA for their review and consideration.
Okay. All right, 6B is deferred, so,
So now we're on to 6C,
6C,
which
thank
is
you.
an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 2023-606, approving budget amendment number BA 2324-04 to the city's operating and capital improvement budget for the 2023-2024 fiscal year, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date.
Mr. City Manager, go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is our standard end of the year credits and debits throughout our budget.
Great, thank you. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Are there any comments or questions from the commission?
No.
Take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Okay. Mauricio?
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading. Second reading is scheduled for November.
Okay, next item, please.
6D is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, amending ordinance number 2024-618, approving budget amendment number BA 2425-01 to the city's operating and capital improvement budget for the 2024-2025 fiscal year, authorizing the city manager to do all things necessary to implement the terms and conditions of this ordinance, providing for an effective date.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this, any time we have any kind of budget amendment, needs to come to you for approval. This is going to allocate an additional $50,000 for our solar improvement projects on this building and allocate $700,000 towards the Intracoastal Sports Park, which we're going to discuss as part of another item.
Great, thank you. Do we have public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any comments or questions from the commission? I'll take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
Reese?
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The ordinance passes on first reading, second reading scheduled for November.
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Okay, we're on to resolutions. 9A is a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute mutual aid and joint declaration agreements on behalf of the city of Sunny Isles Beach.
Please go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, throughout the year, we often get mutual aid agreements for other police departments that we bring to you for approval. In essence, this would give me the authority to enter into these mutual aid agreements without each one of them having to be brought before the commission. And we did discuss in the workshop that the request from Commissioner Viscara that you also be notified. So anytime we do this, I would include it in my monthly report to you.
Great, thank you. Do we have any public speakers? Any
No,
public-
I'm sorry.
No,
No,
please.
I didn't hear you.
I do have one question. These mutual aid agreements, there's not usually a cost attached to them, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'll take a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next item, please.
9B is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of a Ford F-250 from Bartow Ford.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is the purchase of a truck that will replace a unit in our Marine Patrol.
Great. Mauricio, any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions? I'll take a motion, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next item, please.
9C is a resolution authorizing the expenditure of budgeted funds with McGibbon Motorsports for the purchase of 5 UTVs for the Police Department and Ocean Rescue Division.
Great, thank you.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this authorizes the purchase of UTVs for the Police Department and Ocean Rescue.
Great. Any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Please
Yes.
go ahead.
As I had mentioned during our agenda review, I just wanted the public to know that, and Mr. City Manager, would you please explain that there is training for the officers that ride these vehicles? So I know there have been instances where people have been run over on the beach through the use of trucks and vehicles of this type. So would you explain?
Not this beach.
Not here.
Wait.
Not in Sunny Isles.
Can I just remind everyone, please, everything goes to the chair and we take turns speaking. So go ahead, please, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. So would you please explain the training process that's involved
Go
for
ahead.
these vehicles?
Thank you. Yes, I have spoken with the chief, and anybody that's going to be driving any vehicle on the beach goes through a certification training program that is taught by our chief lifeguard.
Great, thank you. And for the record, have there been any incidences where anyone was hurt?
In Sunny Isles?
I'm
No.
asking the manager.
No, ma'am.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other comments or questions?
No.
I'll take a motion, please.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great, thank you. Next item?
Next item is 9D, a resolution approving the purchase of police tasers and police drone unit from Axon Enterprises.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this allows for the purchase of the latest in technology for police tasers and also a drone unit. And the money will come from forfeiture from the law enforcement trust funds.
Great, do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any comments from the commission? I'll take a motion then.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
So apparently these drones, they're going to originally be used for the beach areas, correct?
They would be used for whatever purpose we
Yes.
deem them
Okay.
needed in the police
Right.
department.
Okay, so considering the original, their original intent, it could be expanded throughout the city for security purposes, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You made a motion, Vice Mayor?
Yeah, motion.
I need a-
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, next item.
9E is a resolution approving a project agreement with Rodriguez Architects to provide professional architectural services to design a new restroom building at Town Center Park.
Go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this will allow us to engage an architectural company. The restrooms at Town Center Park are in need of complete, actually demolition, remodeling. We would expand the structure and into the playground area.
Thank you. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, do we have any comments or questions from the commission?
Only that, I mean, this park gets a lot of use, a lot of traffic, and the improved bathroom is certainly welcome.
Yes. Would you like to make a motion?
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item, please.
9F is a resolution approving a project agreement with Keith and Associates to provide civil engineering and landscape services for the redevelopment of the playground area at Town Center Park.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is a companion item that is going to redesign the park area that will be needed in relation to the redesign of the restrooms for Town Center Park.
Great. Do we have any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, any questions?
No.
I'll take a motion, please.
I
My
do have a,
only
Wait,
comment-
let Commissioner Stuyvesant go first.
Sure.
okay, so we're talking about redesign here, and it is almost $250,000, and I have a few questions. So, for example, if we are gonna hire this company, we need to have like a concept design. Are we giving them some directions? What is it that we wanna see in there? Because nothing is in the proposal right now. So I saw the time frame is around 4 years almost, but there is no specifics about the concept design. It says here that it's gonna have some kind of a kiosk, etc. So I want not only the commission, but also the people to be involved in what is said here, gonna be the exploration phase, inspiration phase, implementation phase. Who's gonna be in charge of this? Is the public gonna be able to participate? Are we gonna be able to participate? Because we are the ones that are using the park. We know what we need. And I am a little bit tired of consultants and people coming from God knows where, telling us what is it that we need. There is no specifics here about the features that they're gonna need or what is it that they're gonna be putting here for the design. So the way it is written right now, I would like to know if when we are agreeing to this price, we gave them some kind of a rendering, what is it that we wanna see there? Or directions.
Okay, Mr. City Manager, if you could just answer how we got to this place.
I think the general direction is all of the input that we received from the public and you all for part of our Parks and Rec Master Plan. So anything, when we go out for design, ultimately will come back to you all for approval.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so my point.
Wait, 1 second. Commissioner Viscar?
I was gonna bring up the master plan, but it's fine.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Okay, so like I called it before, for me that was a master disaster, the plan. And my question will be again, we are agreeing to this price. Are we giving them any direction? I would like to see the direction that we're giving to the company, to see if that makes sense with the reality of that playground, how it's being used right now. Because he said that it's gonna have they have some illustrations, etc. What is not that part of the contract? Why cannot we see the direction that we are giving to somebody that we're hiring for?
I
So, for
believe
example,
the direction comes from the master plan.
Okay, so it's not here. So I don't know what is the direction. If you are getting an architect because you want to build a home, you are going to tell them, I want 3-story, I want 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, or whatever it is. So there is some direction. Here is just open without any specification. So I don't know what is it that we're paying for right now because, like I said, there is no description. So we are trying to trust a master plan that I don't trust altogether, and I thought it was very flawed. So if we are going to be putting that money for that description, then I would like to see what is the description that we're putting the money for. What is it that we're buying? It doesn't say anything here. And I read the pages in this, so.
Mayor, if I may.
Yes,
just
please, go ahead.
In drafting the contract, we're essentially hiring them to provide us that design for your approval. We don't have anyone on staff that can actually provide a rendering or have the expertise to do that. So that's the purpose of the contract, is to bring us a design from the architects.
Right.
Well, if I may, again.
Wait, 1 second. I
Go
want to
ahead.
give anyone else a chance that hasn't spoken. Commissioner Joseph, did you want to say something?
Well, I would also like, following up on what Fabiola said, I would also like to see some framework as to what they're working from and the idea that they're drawing from.
Vice Mayor, do you have any comments?
No, I mean, we are going to be able to see this, right? The framework and the plans and everything, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just again, for clarification, we don't have anyone, like the city attorney said, on staff to be able to put together a rendering.
Yeah.
Staff works directly with this company to give them direction based on direction that we gave once we approved the Parks Master Plan.
Well,
So I think that if we start trying to go into the weeds of every project, then we're overstepping our authority as far as giving now direction to someone outside of the city manager.
I
The
don't-
direction we gave, 1 second. The direction we gave to the city manager was to move forward with this park.
yes, but I don't believe what you're saying is actually true, because in order to come up with this 219,000, they had to be able to look at something in order for them to decide to come up with this number. So what is it that they looked at in order to come up with this number?
Please go ahead.
The Parks and Rec master plan that you approved.
Okay, so, and what is it that they're looking, what is their end result to be? That's what I would like to know.
To draft some potential schematics for you to review and approve for the best use of the park according to the Parks and Rec master plan.
Okay.
Okay, if I may. The design development is going to come back to the commission 10 months after this gets approved.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have the time frame. And it's part of the city's responsibilities in page 130 to designate a representative who shall have the authority to transmit instructions, receive information, and enunciate policies and decisions. So yes, we need to work with them. And like I said before, as an example, if you are hiring an architect for a house, you need to tell them what is it that you need. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 kitchen. So to say that they are going to come, again, a company that God knows where it's coming from, and probably they're overqualified, nothing against the company, but they're going to come to tell us what is it that we need for our children. I completely disagree with that. We know what we need, and we are not being part of the process. Here it doesn't say anywhere that it's going to have the input of the people, not even the input of the commission. So it's going to be a representative, God knows who. So if we already designated a representative, page 130, I would like to know who's the person. And again, I would like to know why is it that we are requesting from this company? Because what if they design something for teenagers in that playground, which is being used by little children? So that is my issue with putting the design of our playgrounds in third parties with our input. And if they're going to come to us for approval or different layouts, like I said, the design development is in the month number 10, okay? So they have to go through 2, 2, 4, and 2 to come to us with something. So we are going to waste 1 more year until we see something that we might disagree with, and then we have to start from scratch.
Your point has been made. Mr. City
Yes.
Manager, I just want to get clarification. Keith and Associates, this is the company that we've been using for how many years for various work, approximately?
Since I've been here for the past 13 years.
Okay, 13 years. So this isn't a new company, and the direction that they're getting is getting it from the Parks Master Plan. To your comment regarding building a house, when you're building a house, that is your vision, your personal design. It's for you personally. The reason we have a Parks Master Plan is to incorporate the entirety of what the residents and the stakeholders wanted for the city as far as parks are concerned. So we're going back to debating the Parks Master Plan, which we have already voted on. So rather than try to go back and debate this, I'm going to take a motion on this.
I would like to say one more thing, if you don't mind.
You can say one more thing, but then I'll take a motion or
So,
so we can vote
Mr.
on
City
it.
Manager, the projects that we've used Keith and Associates on, what are those, please?
I could get you a list.
Excuse me?
You can get a list later.
But, so you don't know offhand anything that we've used them for that stands out in your mind?
Numerous park projects,
Anything
drainage
that's-
projects throughout the city.
Okay, so anything that we could look at that's been redeveloped, that they've been a part of?
I
That
can get
could-
you a
that's-
list. I can
No,
get
no,
you-
no,
I
but
can
you
get
don't, so offhand, you don't know anything that they've done that stands out in your mind that we could say, oh, yes, they did a great job on this?
Commissioner Joseph, you're asking a
I-
question that the
I'm-
manager is
I have
not.
the floor, I'm sorry.
No, you.
But I have the floor.
Commissioner Joseph, wait. I want to make it clear to everyone that's here in the audience and that's watching that there is a workshop that happens before these agenda reviews, at which point everyone gets to ask questions of the city managers to allow for staff to prepare for when we have to come to a vote. So if you're looking for additional information that was not asked for at the workshop, which is totally fair, you can do that, we can ask the manager to provide that at a later time. Rather than re-debate this entire item, I would like to either take a motion so we could take a
But I have-
vote.
I'm sorry, but I have the floor and I have a right
You,
to
Commissioner
ask
Joseph,
my question.
you need to be recognized by me to have
I
the floor.
was recognized and you interrupted me.
You can speak, but you are
So I
not
would
going to
like-
be asking
no,
the manager for
I'm
anything.
going to continue because you constantly interrupt me. So, Mr. City Manager, I'm asking that question, please. What is it that's outstanding in your mind that Keith and Associates has done for the city that we could say they did a great job on this?
You may
Is there
answer,
anything?
and then we're going to move on.
An example would be Bella Vista Park.
Bella Vista. So what is it that's outstanding about Bella Vista currently?
And if I may just add, well,
Please.
the manager, we have a continuing services contract with Keith and Associates. So they're our go-to architects. We go to them for a variety of projects, whether they're large projects, small projects. So we enter into project agreements with them as the need arises. So we have them on our list of vendors that we regularly use for either minor input or major input.
Okay.
Right.
So my point, and I'm not finished, my point is that they continue without any, anything to work from, like we've already said, and they're working on a basis of $219,000. They come back to us in 10 months. It's something that they've gone through the $219,000, and we don't agree with what they've come up with. Is that an appropriate way to spend resident money?
Mr. City Manager, I think the question is, what is our process here?
Our process is essentially for this, we developed a park and rec master plan that had numerous meetings with the public. We welcome public input, including a survey throughout the process. We brought it to you for approval, which you approved. Then our job is to go back and begin the design element of the parks, but ultimately everything comes to you for approval. So if you don't like the approval, then you can reject it.
Yes,
it will
but
be
at that point, we've gone through $219,000.
Commissioner Joseph, you're not recognized.
I have another comment.
Wait, one moment, please. I'm going to give the rest of the commission an opportunity. Commissioner Viscar?
Well, I think that the snag that we're hitting here is the apparent dismissal of the value of the Parks Master Plan. To me, the work was done. We had, I remember probably like one of the longest workshop meetings we've ever had, like in here. People have had the opportunity. Not everybody participated, but they had the opportunity. That's what we can do. We can't force everybody to give feedback, but we certainly gave ample opportunity, and people did respond. We used that to create the master plan, which gave us suggestions on what we can do with the different spaces. I'm satisfied with it. And the whole purpose of having it is to then make these kinds of decisions, right? So that we're not having the discussion all over again. What are we going to do with this park? Contingent on the opinion of 5 people sitting up here, as opposed to all the feedback that we got over months of work and meetings and surveys, and that we have the input. That is the direction, and we're building on that. We already spent the money on that master plan, and we're building on that premise to then move forward. Otherwise, we will never get anything done, right? Like, it will just be relitigating the details of a park. That was the purpose of all of that work. I'm comfortable with it. I'm fine with going forward with this contract based on the master plan. And it's not like we're gonna abandon it to chance, because there's gonna be checkpoints along the way. I mean, that's our job, as it is staff. So I'm fine with this contract, and I'm fine with the master plan.
But
One moment, Vice Mayor.
Yeah, I mean, my comment is that I would just need to see, what they bring to us, so we can have some input and just make sure that whatever the ask of the residents is, that it gets implemented.
10 months later?
Well, that we could discuss that, but I just want to make sure that whatever is presented by Keith and Associates is communicated to us in real time. Maybe we could discuss shortening the period of 10 months, perhaps, but, I'll leave that to staff. But I just want to be in constant communication and make sure that whatever we do there at Town Center Park, is the right thing.
Commissioner Stuyvesant.
Okay, so I have a few comments again, okay? First of all, we don't need a master plan to know that we need to redo the park. So I voted against the master plan because it was a waste of time and a waste of money. Over $150,000 was spent, okay? So there is no bidding to Keith for this project. And the 10 months is only for them to give us something.
Right.
Page 129 tells you from the day that we signed this contract, it's gonna be almost 4 years until we get to the construction part. So from today is 4 years when we're gonna see something happening in there. So clearly, none of us are gonna be here by that moment, okay? So, okay, like I said, so it's gonna be another waste of time, another waste of money with the plan, and this should be bid, and the people should be available to have an input, and I'm not for this. And I think Keith and Associate doing other jobs in the city that I remember, and I think that is an outstanding company. However, I don't like the process how we are given this by the finger without a description of what is it that we're buying.
Okay, Commissioner Joseph, you're recognized for one last comment, and then
Thank
we're
you.
going to take
Yes.
this to a vote because we're hitting 30
Okay.
minutes.
To this contract, there should have been some type of schematics, a few schematics for proposals that should have been attached. And then let them go with that, and then they can come back with us, to us, in however many months with something real. Right now, we don't know what they're coming back to us with, and it makes no sense. $219,000 is no different than another consulting fee.
Thank you. I'll take a motion.
Motion.
I need a second.
Second.
Mauricio, will you do
A roll call?
please? Yes.
Yes. Commissioner Stuyvesant,
No.
Commissioner Viscara,
Yes.
Commissioner Joseph,
No.
Vice Mayor Lama,
Yes.
Mayor Svechen.
Yes.
The resolution passes 3-2.
Okay, next item, please.
Next
How are we gonna
item
accomplish
is
anything here?
10G, a resolution approving a letter of agreement with Keith and Associates to provide construction administration services for the construction of the Intercoastal Sports Park.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is an agreement, a letter agreement with Keith and Associates, and they would provide construction oversight and administration for the construction of Intracoastal Sports Park.
Okay. Mauricio, do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Any comments or questions from the commission?
Did they
Commissioner
bid for
Stuyvesant?
this?
What did you say?
Bid? There was a bid for this contract?
Mr. City Manager?
Yeah, so these were all bid as part of your continuing services. So landscape architects, architectural and engineering firms, or you've all have a short list, developed a short list, so it was bid, not this year, but in the previous year when the previous years, when the continuing services agreement were entered into with these companies. And then as part of your approval, you go into as projects come up, you enter separate project agreements, which is what you have before you. But
Okay.
yes, this was competitively bid at one point.
Thank
Okay,
you.
but if I may,
Go ahead.
but not specific for this project. And again, here in our agenda, we don't have, once again, the scope of service, the exhibit 1, which is the scope of service, project schedule, and fee schedule, is not attached. So once more, we are just voting into a contract that was given by the finger without knowing what is the scope of service.
Mr. City Manager, can you address that, please?
There's a contract attached that has a list of tasks. It's on page 141.
144 is exhibit, that is blank.
Details are on page 141 for the various tasks, but this is for the oversight and construction of the Intracoastal Sports Park.
No, I get it, but the exhibits
Okay.
are not there.
One exhibit.
Commissioner Viscar?
Well, I'm looking at it digitally, but I have exhibits,
Digitally, they're there.
yeah.
Okay. When you all had the workshop, I wasn't there, I had a doctor's appointment. Did you all go through this item? With the-
Yes, we
with
did.
So the exhibits were provided?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner,
No, I don't have it.
No, there were no exhibits.
I was
At
over
the
the phone
review.
and I had my book, no exhibits.
you didn't have them at that time?
No, I still don't
No.
have it.
Did you ask them for them at that time?
No, I did not.
Okay. All right. So are you saying you cannot vote if you don't look at them beforehand? Because it is,
Again, there is no scope of service, and we know it wasn't
no,
even
I
bid.
understand, but it's our responsibility to go through this beforehand. And that's why we
I
have the
did.
workshop.
Yes, and I was there. And another thing about the workshops is that we have this discussion in the fourth floor when nobody's attending, and I believe those workshops is not in the best interest of the people, that we're having all these discussions with the staff without the people present.
Okay, but that's not what we're discussing right now. That's not what's on the table. Are there any other questions on this item, or Vice Mayor?
I don't have any questions. No, I don't have any questions at this moment. What I would like to comment is that since the exhibits are not there, I don't know if we want to perhaps, I don't know how time-sensitive this is, perhaps wait until the next commission meetings so they could get the exhibits and be able to formulate a better opinion or have more information, and that way be able to vote with information before them.
But for clarification, the exhibits are electronically sent to the entire commission, correct?
Yes, we're checking to see if there was an electronic attachment
All
as
right.
Exhibit A.
So while we're checking that, could we go to the next item? Is that possible, Mauricio?
Yes, we can put this one on hold and we'll just do it as a reconsideration.
Great, thank you. All right, next item.
10H is a resolution.
Nine.
Excuse me, 9H is a resolution awarding invitation to bid number 240702 and approving an agreement with MBR Construction to provide construction services for the Intercoastal Sports Park.
Go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this item originally began in May of 2022, the Intracoastal Sports Park, under Resolution 2022-3337. And the direction from the commission was for us to go in and design the park. The park, to advise everyone, we're going to have 2 lighted tennis courts, parking lot, an office, some workout stations, walking paths, and part of the courts will be a multi-use court for volleyball as well. So back in January 18th of this year, the commission unanimously approved the conceptual design for the park. And this item was put out to bid in July 25th of this year. After we put it out to bid, we received 9 bids, and the lowest responsible bidder was MBR Construction. And therefore, we are recommending to move forward with MBR Construction for the construction of this park.
Great, thank you. Are there any public speakers, Mauricio?
There are no public speakers. However, we did receive, and I just want to note it for the record, some emails against this item and asking for its removal, and it was approximately about 7 to 8 emails that we received.
Okay, I don't know if anyone else on the commission received them. I received those, and I believe the city manager as well. But since we have no public speakers, I'll take questions from the commission. I'll take a motion then.
So moved.
Need a
I'll
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Next item.
9I is a resolution approving an agreement with Advanced Green Technologies to furnish and install solar panels at Government Center.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, we are asking for your approval to install solar panels. It would be on the Government Center, and this would help reduce our power bill.
Great. Any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission? Please go ahead, Commissioner Joseph.
How much is currently our monthly power bill for City Hall?
I couldn't tell you specifically, but it's significant. And there was also a question that you had asked regarding the efficiency of the units, 20.7%.
20.7. I had
Yes.
said 15, but I knew it was not close to 50 even. But yes, okay, so 20-something% efficiency, and who is it that recommended this type of installation with low efficiency?
Go ahead.
I think we set out to try to get the best product along with the efficiency rating that would help overall reduce this in conjunction with FP&L.
Okay. Now, I know that there are different solar panels. There are some that actually, from the heat of the sun, they bend to actually take in more sunlight than others, but that's not what these are, correct?
That's my understanding, right?
Right, okay. So, how many bids were taken on this project?
It was a piggyback from
Piggyback,
a
okay.
cooperative agreement.
So, did we look into the experience of the person that we piggybacked, the city that we piggybacked? And to find out their experience with these panels?
Are you asking if we got references?
No, not references. If they've already had these installed, did we look into whether they're happy with them or not, and how long they've been installed? Because I'm thinking that this will not be something that is going to be worthwhile for us.
Well, some of the members of the cooperative of this include Aventura, Hollywood, Miami Beach, Miami-Dade County, and more. So we
Okay.
do know that at the end of the day, we do expect our power bills to be reduced by incorporating the solar technology.
By how much are you expecting a reduction? If it's 20% efficient, how much would your power bill be reduced, considering the cost of these panels? And do we know what the service the requirement is on these panels?
I do not know, but I can get you those answers.
Okay, so before we should have all that information before we give this a go-ahead, wouldn't you think?
Mr. City Manager, was all of the questions that are being asked reviewed by staff?
No questions were brought up before for me to have a chance to answer those regarding
Okay.
this.
Right. I want to give the rest of the commission an opportunity to speak. Commissioner Vizcarra?
I like that we're moving in the direction of not just saving on the electric bill, but also the environmental benefits, right, of not having to use that kind of power. So I support it.
Vice Mayor?
Okay.
No questions.
Commissioner Stuyvesant?
I don't feel comfortable awarding $1 million contracts without bidding. There wasn't a bid, not a bid here. That really makes me feel uncomfortable. I do believe that anything that we can do to lower our bills and expenses is something that we probably all agree on. And also, there is not a timeline here from the beginning, or I could not see at least if there was. So maybe I think it will be a little bit smart from us if we defer this item to the next month and have a little bit more of information. But like I said, without a bid, and I don't feel comfortable awarding $1 million contracts.
Okay, are you making a motion to defer?
Yeah, I make a motion to defer.
Mayor?
I'll second.
Please.
If
go.
I may?
Sure.
Sorry. Just to respond to the question, piggybacking is normal customary procurement that we do with any piggyback contract is put out to bid by another city. So many cities, including the county and the state, use piggybacking regularly.
Great.
Also, as part of that, we don't bring anything to you like this that doesn't have references that we check first before bringing to you.
Great.
No,
I have
I
a
understand.
second on the deferment. I need Mauricio.
A vote.
Yeah.
Do you want a roll call?
Yes, please.
Commissioner Joseph,
Yes, on the deferment.
Vice Mayor Lama,
No.
Commissioner Stuyvesant,
Yes.
Commissioner Viscara,
No.
Mayor Svechen.
No.
The motion fails 2-3.
All right, I need a
Okay.
motion on the item.
Can I
We'll
mention
check back
something?
Wait,
2
1
years
second.
from now.
Go ahead,
I'd
Vice
like to
Mayor.
mention something. So I'm looking at the agreement, and it says term, subject to provisions relating to the termination of this agreement as set forth here under, is page 2, number 4. The term of this agreement shall commence upon full execution of the agreement and shall terminate 1 year thereafter. So my question is, will this take 1 year?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that this is, so as soon as this goes into agreement, then in 1 year, we'll have solar panels installed.
I would like to hope so.
Okay.
Yes. Barring any, it's construction delays. We're dealing with those material delays throughout all of our projects. So to the best that we can, yes.
Okay, so I have a question, if you don't mind.
One more question, and then we need to
Okay.
take this for a vote.
So, Mr. City Manager, will we be able to get an answer regarding experience with these other cities as to their solar panel results before next month? And to know how long these other cities have had them and what their result is? I would like the residents to know.
Yes, I can get you that information.
Yes, okay, thank you.
All right, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
No.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed.
Yes,
Okay.
opposed.
Mauricio, did you get that?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Next item was deferred, correct?
Correct.
So we are on to 9K.
9K is a resolution declaring zoning in progress related to the development and redevelopment in the mixed-use resort, town center, neighborhood business, and business overlay zoning districts.
Mr. City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, as you know, we're looking at our zoning and reviewing it, and this would extend our zoning in progress.
Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions from the commission? I'll take a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Next item.
9L is a resolution ratifying the expenditure of budgeted funds for the purchase of computer workstations and related equipment.
City Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is for the purchase of computer workstations and various staff throughout the city.
Any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any questions? Take a motion, please.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item, please.
9M is a resolution approving a third amendment to the agreement with UKG Chrono Systems.
City Manager.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, UKG Chrono Systems is the software company that we used for timekeeping for the staff and employees.
Great. Any public speakers? All right, I'll take a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item.
10N is a resolution ratifying an increase to
9N.
9A, excuse me. Is a resolution ratifying an increase to blanket purchase orders with Publix for the purchase of necessary supplies.
No, this is not Publix. This is an error, correct?
That's an error, yeah.
No, this is for Publix. It's just the error is in the office supplies.
The office
Yeah, can I
supplies,
just
yeah.
remind
Okay.
everyone to please go through the chair? Mr. City Manager, go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, the next couple of items you're going to see are items throughout the year where we estimate a budget for certain things. Let's say Publix, Home Depot, those kind of places, Amazon that we buy from regularly. Anytime we will go over those, it has to come back to you for approval. So what will happen is as we make these year-end adjustments, anything, some of the accounts may be a little bit over and some may be under, but anything that's over, we bring back to you to advise you for approval.
Great.
So that's what this is.
Thank you. Do we have public speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I need a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item.
9O is a resolution ratifying an increase in purchase order with Home Depot for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is the same issue for Home Depot.
Any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll take a motion. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor? Great. Next item.
9P is a resolution ratifying an increase to the blanket purchase order with Miami-Dade.
Go ahead.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is for Miami-Dade, which is our janitorial supplies for the city.
Any speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item.
9Q is a resolution authorizing the city manager or designee to purchase janitorial and sanitation supplies and equipment from Miami-Dade.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is our estimated spend based on last fiscal year. We're estimating to spend up to $55,000 for the new fiscal year for janitorial and sanitation supplies.
Great. Do we have any speakers?
No, ma'am.
I'll take a motion.
Motion.
Need a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next item, please.
9R is a resolution ratifying an increase to the blanket purchase order with Blue Digital Corp. for fiscal year 2022-2023.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, Blue Digital is a company that we use for scanning large documents such as building plans in the building department.
Do we have any speakers, Mauricio?
No, ma'am.
Great. Need them?
I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
So, Blue Digital, we farm that out, or are we looking into purchasing our own equipment at some point?
Go ahead.
It depends upon what the issue is. In this case, we use Blue Digital because they have experience with that. We're looking at that across the board with the building department.
Right, so we're looking to totally digitize our building department at some point.
We have been electronically accepting plans since January, but yes, complete everything.
Right, okay, thank you.
I need a motion.
So moved.
And second.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Great. Next item, please.
9S is a resolution ratifying an increase to the purchase order with Staples for fiscal year 2023-2024.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is regarding what we were speaking about earlier. This is Staples for our office supplies for the staff.
Mauricio, do we have any speakers?
No, ma'am.
All right. I need a motion, please.
Motion,
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Next item, please.
9T is a resolution ratifying and approving the expenditure of budgeted funds with TK Elevator Corporation.
Go ahead, please.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the commission, this is budgeted funds expenditure for TK elevators for emergency repairs and maintenance for the elevators that are at the Gateway Park pedestrian bridge.
Great. Do we have any speakers?
No, ma'am.
Great. Take a motion?
Motion.
Need a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we have the add-on item.
9U is a resolution ratifying the declaration of state of local emergency declared by the city manager on October 8th, 2024, and determination of a state of local emergency issued on October 10th, 2024, due to Hurricane Milton.
Just 1 second before you, Mr. City Manager, we added this item, so anyone that came in late, this is an add-on item. If anyone would like to speak on this item, it's 9U. Okay, go ahead, Mr. City Manager.
Mayor, thankfully, I wanted to speak a little bit on this item because this allowed for me to declare an emergency declaration for the storm that thankfully we didn't have. So first, I'm thankful that the storm passed. But I wanted to say thank you to the elected officials for your trust regarding we were, I feel, fully prepared. As you know, you authorized the purchase of 2 high-water vehicles, which we had prepped and ready in case needed. We had those vehicles. We've tested them out on the beach and had great success. And we had staff fully prepared. There are a couple of people that I wanted to thank specifically because in being prepared, we also had to monitor the parks. I wanted to thank Colin and our Parks Department for being ready. Even though the city was closed and some days we had the parks open for the residents, we were consistently monitoring the weather. We were on calls with Dade County Emergency Operations Center preparing for flooding. We also, as you know, we distributed sandbags. That was a big concern to the residents. The police department, I wanted to thank Fabricio, our Public Works Director, for having the sandbags ready for our residents. And Susan and I worked in shifts here trying to make sure that everything was taken care of. And the only other thing I wanted to mention, it sounds funny, but it's really not, in terms of, I'm not aware of any of the other cities, but our police chief actually spent the night in the city of the hurricane to ensure that he was close by. So I have full confidence in our staff and our police department being as ready as we can, and I was very proud of them for everyone's effort in coming together to be prepared for the storm. So the emergency declaration allowed for me, if we needed to do any emergency purchasing to prep for the storm, which we did not, and then once everything cleared, we officially ended the emergency declaration, and that's what this item is for.
Thank you. Do we have any public speakers?
No, ma'am.
Any comments or questions from the commission?
No.
I'll take a motion, please.
Just say good job.
Good job.
So
Motion,
moved.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're on to, wait, do we
Going
have any
back
public
to-
speakers? I didn't even ask.
Yes, we asked, but there wasn't.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay. All right.
So we need to go back to 9G.
Did we find the answer to the question of the exhibits? Was it included?
The attachment, no, we will have to get that to you later.
All right,
if-
so
if you would like-
I need a motion to then defer.
I'll make a motion to defer.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mauricio, did you get that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, thank you.
we have to say that.
All right, now we are on to citizen forum.
11,
I
yes.
just want to remind everyone, when you get up here, please say your name and address for the record. Please stick to 3 minutes. Please remember about decorum. Please address all comments directly to me, the chair. Please do not try to engage with anyone on the commission. And sometimes this meeting cuts short before we actually finish, so I want to make sure to make a really quick announcement. We have an amazing installation in recognition of October 7th, caged pacifiers. It's in the lobby of the Government Center. It's here until October 23rd. please feel free to go and look at it. And if you want a private tour from the artist, that is also available to you. And I think we can put the phone number down on the screen later. Okay, go ahead, Mauricio.
First speaker is Vitaly Falkovich.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the commission. One of the things I wanted to say is that...
Sir, if you just don't mind, your name and address for the record.
Sorry.
Thank you.
My name is Vitaly Falkovich, 9280 Southwest 167 Terrace, Palmetto Bay, Miami, Florida. One of the things is that I wanted to say is I wanted to congratulate Director Renalo, Crime Prevention Supervisor Sandra Block, for receiving an award in Aventura a couple days ago, and it shows that their dedication and their service to City of Sunny Isles, and it shows starting from city manager, the mayor, city council, that hiring an amazing police chief. And I think that as being a visitor here, I think you have one of the best police chiefs, and I think that Miami-Dade should be jealous. I know they come into the sheriff's department, they should be jealous because you guys do have one of the greatest police departments and police chief. Also, thank you, Florida Department of Highway Patrol, to keeping Sunny Isles safe for the high holidays. It's hard for us, being Jewish, walk out certain areas uptown, and I very appreciate this commission supporting Israel and supporting being safe. As doing the business here, I feel safe no matter what time I'm in the area. I feel actually safe, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mauricio, is the clock working?
Yes, it is, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay. Next speaker, please.
Ari Steiger.
Ari Steiger, 262 Atlantic Island. I really didn't want to come to Parliament and speak about, but Mr. JJ, Commissioner JJ, pissed me off.
Sir, wait. I want to remind everyone that today is, please, no outbursts from you. I'm going to handle this. Sir, if you can please refrain from saying anyone's name, I'd appreciate it. Go ahead.
I've been in the city commission meetings since day one. I missed, I don't know how many commission meetings, but the last few months I missed all of them because I'm sick and tired of this commission spending money like it's not your money. It's the citizens' money, and you're spending it for no reason on a lot of different things that's unimaginable.
Can you be more specific?
Commissioner
We're answering
Joseph,
back tonight.
no, you are not. You're out of line.
It's just spending like it's they're not their money, so they're spending it. Second, this is the nastiest election that's coming up from the commissioners, Mr. JJ and
Mr.
Viola.
Steiger. Mr.
They're
Steiger, please.
advertising wrong and not straight.
Can we
to
put
the
some order,
public.
please? 'Cause
Okay.
he continues referring
Stop.
to people.
Okay. I just want to remind everyone, please, that everything goes to the chair. Please do not name any names, and we do have a policy here that there's no
But they're
campaigning.
sharing lies all over the
How can-
internet
Can-
and all
You
over
need to
Commission-
stop him.
I will not tolerate any outbursts from anyone. Can you stop his clock for a minute? Mr. City Attorney, can you please just give us clarification?
Yeah,
regarding-
so the parameters for public comment are matters that are within the jurisdiction of the city commission. Electoral matters, besides the ministerial duties of the city clerk with regards to the election, it is not electoral matters, campaigning matters, however, in whatever form, are not within your purview. There's nothing you can do about it. It's not under your jurisdiction. So it's really not an appropriate topic.
Thank you. Mr. Steiger, please stick to items that are within our purview. You may go ahead.
I didn't plan to speak, but I said you endorse me. It's
I
another
understand.
lie.
I understand you're frustrated. Thank you.
Greg Capro.
Greg Capper, 257 Point St. Island. I just wanted a point of clarification. I would have brought it up on the 9T, the emergency repair for the elevator. I'm not mistaken, didn't the commission approve replacement of that elevator in the last commission meeting?
Mr. Capra, you had the opportunity to ask for clarification when that item was being
I
called.
thought you'd bring it up, and so when I missed it.
No, I understand, but this is your time to speak. We're not going to go back and forth with the commission or the city manager.
Can you at least confirm whether you're replacing that elevator?
Like I said, we're not going to be answering any questions right now.
I'll call the city manager.
Please
and
go
find
ahead. You
out
are
about
absolutely
that.
free to do that. Thank you.
That's all, Mayor.
That's it. Okay, I'll take a motion to adjourn. Thank you.
Did anybody actually move? Because I moved to adjourn.